Dumienu abo high peas 104.3, okay 101.7. And I need 100.9 ye worship fikesemo e wa beka junction won cry edum kumasi dwakese be hello 101.5 o mama ya mamu nyina ha Ghana ensem hodo a ensem bege ne ensem polo abura no se kase e na ensem fu ahwehwe aboa no no wasone so a wo se don hwere ba ko yentena se ne emfama mo se dumienu kasebo e wo peace ne yenuanom kaye so yenuanom kaye free se radio stations bebro ha eni aduonum Ghana ni amanone eno afa kase ya wonum ato apete uko online so a peacefmonline.com afi enem for social media ne so say Facebook say YouTube say Instagram ni nyina da no ye wo a ye stream ho live peace 104.3 ensemo a ye de ebremu no eni animu bi eni Ewiase sika krabia foto kese IMF chese womudi womani bedi ye nkrata asemfa ye bosia ne ye sika semachie no eye enti bosia na anu bi omode ma ye omode ba no sope nchemu no de ediso ye 370 million US dollars no wonum ede bebre yen na ye ne sika sem ne adwadie mu ene oman tutuye nimdifo Professor Godfred Bokwen ebedi eho enkomo mampani de tudwa enura se ebusumi nkwa na wiye no obefiti ase a obetua contractor for ma ye ya kwan ne abanyuma hodo no obefiti ase atua wonum ka amanfo si ene contractor for na tadwe wonum atede enti awie yi Ghana Chamber of Construction Industries won semi anu yi a wode ebeba Achim damra shebedwani wonu nyamfo Alexander Kwasi akwa ena esra ban se wonum de niam agu nkrata so mpese wo gitum na ebeye mra ebefa sabo yade no se obi anya bie na esese ma no sabo foforo de o kan se kidney transplant no ehu wo se cases na ekosoro enti ebeya aban enhwe na samra no emra
yedu pempenso bi a wo se ye mra na yetimi ye transplant
Ghana Hajj Board ene jagu wo mu chemwe e say Hajj agent ni bi se said yo mo bo mo nsamra ne sa fi Hajj ne de wo mu tutu ni ye bibia ye kama kitwe bi Hajj Fatima Kasim de ipe na bese mu no agent fo no se wo mo bo o se mampani enwu Hajj Board no every say wo mo anye hwe na so Ghana Hajj Board so say task force ni say adwuma wo mo aye pa
Infa no mo si Hajj no ankoyi obi antimi nye adwuma na enye 100%.
GTech ena wonum ehwe se suku bi ebetimi ayesuapon de ombe kire abodin a womde bema womani abere se abodin a yede hye nkrofo animonyam no enya de ese yede to wom so ede ka womudin ho enti obi bia da yama ne bie na wode je fans ede je samba eje ne ho mena no womune no ede osai safo no su nyina ako ebinim so okra ye nhye na animonyam ne bi nanso wono akofa ede ato ne ho so enu na machi de se yensu hini na akofa nkyesha ene we de GTech be ye fruity kakra wofan kwansa wam kwan yi asesi ayebu achi bidi wunam so agugwa sabre wabone enum ne se tutu aka makom yelu chiechemu no ama kwantufo omfa sa kwan so hina poto wo mo papa na yebetie wo makosema wie
Kwan shekafu so mkwa besin ba amasama it will take like 7 or 10 minutes no almost 1 hour now that hojina e ben go su sisa ofa so mienu miensa je so ko hospital
Mama we ni sem kaye bi na ye de ebremu se dumienu kasebo e wo peace ewie yi ye na ekenkan kasebo ya mamo eyeme mama ya akunama na
ohene wa kasebo ahene yemfa sedama MTN no say we there for you everywhere you go nti MTN na wie what the insem ne dia ba ne hia ne so be download it ama me my MTN app now for you go seamless today yafe African Queen tie te hodoma ye didi ne ye de pa enam ne simu apoti nti ne nkwan anase wie die nkradoko bi na wanya watwumukwa African Queen macro ne bi na abehia number betimi afre yesi so 0245326180 0245326180 Africa siebo ni nchemu no enie
The idea kind of anything Ghana for to stand for Dr. Kesel and I can say how to forcing and what the baby too just so say see your man is kasemi adwade no peja e kon kan pa say de kanena ese boachi bi di na top bunu mu no eniama esesa ama esi ni prom ye kwan eso na dance e wom anything where we are sika foto kese e kom ho botia boya wonum ye se ne ye hwemo se mu betotum ne maye ye ma mo nkwa botia bo bebrebe biem eni ade nti ase o ma boa ye yanso ya boa ye ho de so ato ye nso am ye miamia ye ho kakra na botia no mo de ma ye no o ma fa ma ye bum prekope enti o ha no o ma behwe se de mo kan se mo be ye no mo ye mo koyie ana enkoyie enti o behwe mo tia mo ya de mu hwe musika sem so yie mu di musika yie ene botia na ye de ma mo no ye de kakra nso aba enunie enti de wo mo frɛ no enu review na etoso 9 no na IMF fo aba ye omu ye wiye no wo mu chese executive board ne se o ye koso toto ye niam ye ni sika nyafu ye ne kantete sade nwe enchi nkosua mom enkroso ye nan se omu nsan domedome pie so enti na chese ye toto ye niam na ye sika sem eye na eno na foto san for kasa auto force say we IMF fo na kan say ye toto ye niam ye ene enti ase ne wo mu koye ye nam na kwamu no ene na se kwan ni mu atene ama botia no de aka mu ana nini so a America dollar obepe ahasa aduoson $370 million no wonum de bebre yen enura dadua ya ena wode sansemi atudwa ebre anabod no abehwe de ombehwe bia awie na enu ne ase ya de aha ne yetie wo mu asika no ho nsem ebo mo te ne pampan no mu di na buwie ebi obinfum okuni a won de wadi nwoma no wanya sa obinfum okuni Godfred Bokwen enti ene no enkodi enkomo emfa ho prof Fiscal se bosuni ya de wase ye mo ha
yo be ma wa ha ene yetie fo ina
IMF for yi said the finance minister dia to just wo mu review no de to so 9 wo mu se eye ma yen enti ye tranche aka bebe mu no onso te Ghana wo hwei eye ma yen said your mo ka no
yes senior mo kan largely no ye ni omo ya atwin IMF program every time omo approve program May 17 2023 and progress I am making. In fact, in the first 3 reviews, na your name, may follow program no pass me or but 2024 election. The year election international expenditure side no, in Jimmy manage that side in and our revenue so in the year 2024 election. Let's just say we were a bit off track in terms of the program target. Inflation say engineer TV. Say by a fiscal deficit in so engineer TV. But we also made some progress. Program parameters meeting so to say the international reserve say we did more than we're supposed to do. And about GDP growth and so on, it was higher than programs. But broadly, we made quite a number of the targets as well. Enti near abanfu for year, especially with the 2025 budget, they essentially use the 2025 budget to correct the overrun and the cut expenditure and nyama begin so mo de tum. In fact, reforms media yentimia meeting end of 2024. They did it quite quickly. Within the first quarter of 2024, 2025. And I think so reform to be one point, because we meeting in September 2025, they do all the June. They were able to fast track some of them. They really went hard in the first, using the 2025 budget, essentially to bring the program back on track. And there's also a expenditure cut, also reducing the gross financing needs and expenditure control, somebody to in place, Then the program target, every year a bit more realistic. So we can say, yes, government has done well, but we should also bear in mind, if you look at the expenditure cut, expenditure rationalization, any other interventions now, well, we have to pay some price in order to also bring the program on track. So the good news in itself, Yetimia passes our review, no, the program is on track. Reform, governance, structural reform, or model 2 is in place now. They are all good. And now also, the IMF supported program now. The beauty of it is the $3 billion, over the 3 years. But the structural reforms, the fiscal discipline, any measures we were able to implement, and we are still implementing under the program. No? I think that is more important for me than even the $370 million. Because I also a reserve to see now. You can build the reserve substantially, but it's also good to the $370 million will add to our and anchor the stability of the currency going forward. But the other thing we should also bear in mind is that we have been to the IMF several times, 17 of them or 18. After IMF program, how are we able to ensure fiscal discipline and continue the necessary reforms, productivity enhancing reforms? All these gains will be sustainable going forward. Those are the real issues. And in fact, the program itself, the review report, captured that there are a lot of things going forward. So we cannot say that we have arrived. Actually, it should be an enabler for us to do more in terms of reforms, in terms of pursuing expenditure efficiency. And there are other reforms ahead of us, especially in the energy sector. Then they also highlighted the financial sector, especially capitalization of certain state-owned banks, given the high non-performing loans and dwarfed capital adequacy ratio. And see, there's a lot of work I also going forward. But for now, we can say that at least using the 2025 budget to bring the program back on track and all of that is really good news for Ghana. It's a win for Ghana, and we need to build on that.
Prof, material crowd meeting say we can expenditure realization. Na yet say politicians be almost economy ni say ye say aban no ye bibia e buru so oniska on spend it enti senke ade a o spend ya enke be hu pa. Some expenditure realization and the area wo mo ka no correlation bi wo mo. Yes,
no and I can say share the expenditure cut in 2025 is huge. And I can say this is we have to pay some price, some sacrifice, some trade-off in order to bring the program back on track. These were things and I say in 2024, because also the targets we set for ourselves under the program in the run-up to the 2024 election, if we were able to exercise fiscal discipline without that much expenditure overrun, arrears, perhaps we would have been able to do some level of development this year. But I also agree with government that given the excess expenditure 2024, we needed to cool the economy, and therefore it was a way to go. So it's all about managing the trade-off now. Going forward, we all know that government cannot continue to hold back expenditure like they've done this year. They have to progressively scale up, and we need to manage the trade-off in terms of generating revenue and also ensuring expenditure discipline. But I think the difference will lie in how we are able to pursue expenditure efficiency, right? Higher value for money and all of that. And those ones will be very critical.
And Prof, say abansha say afe or spend it say at say free end of the month you bet your contractors can ade no. E modern more abanya bo economy no apeja koso no ye be koso ahu ne saa ana so say e betimi ate asan.
Well, we may not see the aggressive strengthening of the currency now, even in the last couple of months. And it may not happen like that going forward. But at least they've built some fundamentals which will allow us to manage that delicate trade-off of migrating to maybe progressive spending. Also, as government begins to roll out their program because for now, they've launched policies, documents, and all of that. We need to back that with the necessary expenditure going forward so that we can translate those good intentions into actual. So there are challenges ahead, but I think that given the way they've started, if they're able to stay on that course, I believe that, yes, there will be some shocks here and there. We are not out of the woods yet. We still have to make some sacrifices. Government will still need to scale up revenue, mobilization, going forward and all of that. But I think that the progress that we have made is worth noting. Again, it also tells us that there's a lot we have to do in terms of expenditure control, higher value for money, and make sure that our procurement system, we are using it effectively and efficiently for growth enhancing spending. And no matter what going forward, but certainly there will be some critical trade-offs that we have to manage going forward.
Prof, $370 million here, baby, and we need the chat to crowd was 3 years, but Moana.
Oh, there's it. We still have some reviews, which will also come with some additional inflow. Program Nankatankasa will end in December 2025, but the review will be completed maybe towards the end of April next year. So this is not the last one. It's not.
Anyway, last but one and answer, sign Akan more yeshi.
I think we have, I would have to check. I think we have maybe 2 more or so under the program before it ends in December. Yeah.
We are baby, $370 million. Unim diemuno, Osha, a quambenson a befa, a bebois economy.
Well, largely, it will show up our international reserves and offer a balance of payment support. The ocean economy, in American earlier, the ocean IMF supported program now, and yet it cannot yet so important. But the reform, expenditure side, revenue side, structural reform, those ones are more critical because the ocean $370 million our economy, this is an economy that is worth over $75 billion. Yeah, but the most important is that it builds confidence in the economy. It tells us that we are on track. As government is trying to go back to the capital market, it consolidates confidence in our economy, and I think that is very good. So that is how we should look at it. I think there are about 2 more reviews. There are 2 more reviews ahead of us, and each one of them will come with some influence to our economy. So I think we should look forward to that. But Oshesnia, so far now, it looks to me fair. We did a program on a high note. But what is important also is what happens after the program. If we finish the program technically December 2025, now the year review now let's say April 2026. What next? What would we be?
Prof, Abayaka said, ye are reviewing na Uncle Beam, Uncle IMF for Beam. Emma, when that's what say any na say, ye bet to me a gina ye na so.
That is where my worry is. Because over the years, say a core IMF program say, it's me, dear. I mean, a similar one happened when MPP government took over from 2017. We were under a program. Again, the 2016 election, it affected the program dynamics, but they were able to also restore it. We even extended it by 1 year and ended it in April 2019. But the critical question I would say, what happens next? What are we going to put in place? Without that ad hoc supervision from the IMF, can we ensure fiscal discipline, prudence, efficiency, especially as 2028 election draws closer? Those are critical things, and I believe that until now, government has not given us a blueprint as to how they will navigate that phase. We know, the president and Akan said they will not go for another program or extend this one. They are thinking of policy support instruments, and we are largely advisory. How can we ensure discipline on our own? Those are the things I always say. Yes, for now, we can give government the benefit of the doubt, but I'm hoping that, and they should not tell us that 24-hour economic program is a successor to the IMF program. It doesn't come closer to it at all. So we are expecting some kind of arrangement that will be credible with similar reviews and supervision that can help us to stay on track, even if we don't want to go for the IMF. But for now, until government is able to demonstrate to us that this is what they are putting in place, so we don't have to go to the IMF because we have reserves, because we have this, and therefore going to the fund may not be necessary, because typically we will go to them for balance of payment support, but we have reserves, we have this. However, what are we putting in place, okay, to hold ourselves accountable to ourselves? The other issue to bear in mind, not to say, anytime we are under the IMF, we are more accountable to ourselves. There is transparency, there is disclosure. So even if government is not telling us the truth, they will tell the IMF the truth.
Na chese Professor Godfred Bokpeng oye onimdifo sikasem tutuemu no University of Ghana Business School na yenine edin komoi.
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Abba Maniasa na bani guso awoye nhyehyesa nyame ya adomanto a ese bosum we be kona wie de na wone yi akwan wo my Ghana ne nchroso ne nchase wo mbehya asese betime atuomoka na amampani de sansem we gina to dwabra ba asomfo ya omboa ne sigina ye wo mu hia ye wa bankesem ne dia wode to dwanse ensi a wo hwe my Ghana ne nchroso ne nchase amusi ya kwantempon no dodo na atete apra pansamti saasike ye tuade ma contractors wo mo ko site akohye wo mu dwumedi asem ensem pina ka we hu na Ghana mampani His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wadi atudwa.
To the issue you raised about the payment to contractors, payment is about to start from the end of this month. The Minister of Finance has put some money aside to begin to clear the arrears of contractors. So I'm sure that some of the contractors who have been working on your projects will be paid so that they can go back on site and continue their work. He's prioritizing payments to road contractors because several of the road contracts have stalled and slowed down. And as you're aware, some people have threatened to demonstrate on the Ofankor Road on Saturday, and so getting the contractors to go back to site and continue work as quickly as possible is one of the priorities of government.
Ani ekwoti Ghana mampani His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na yegusu aye boy ya homoden siensa betimi aka pani kwankyerefo ya woda Ghana Chamber of Construction Industries Imano Cherry ne ani pani yedi nkomo na so ya bomu anyade na homa na etutomu nyame ya adom na yensaka na nkomo yi ye behwese ye ne de bedi afe ye pemso
ye pemso aye kwa apomde ensemu na emrahye bedwani ma omanfom wo achimdan kane na oye so afo abede echi apomde ensem so no nyafo Alexander Kwasi akwa eno o se osra aban bebre se be ye animu ye se de se abo yade etietese na ejimena no enka wo mu enkuche bibi mu nkrata so na se wontu emra ho anamo won famra mrahye bedwafie ni wonu mu hwem se de be ya se obi se abo sei na wohia moa se esese ma ne se abo no foforo yetumia ye bia Ghana mrama ho kwan fise sesi ayi se de wo ho no ye ni mra bia efa se obi sa abo asai esese yetu na obi mpo efiri akomapem kase o sa abo no doma koma mienu metumi de ba akwa chew ana nso se o media obi si mi firi mu media yi matwera to wo se munyi mfama obi fofora emra bia ni ho ade ne so ye nsore nya ne saa keke na honorable so chese sa abo ya de na nsense de asi atu atese no ehu na eni enyan na se ye ma obi sa abo foforo de okan se kidney transplant no so ye kwan a ye befa so ye beboa ama wo mo mbenya yade ni bi no o matimi atena se ache kane no no yanka yesu se ye de ne to afidie so ama afidie yi moja no asesa moja atwe dwonso ni nsuo na pie de okan dialysis no ana nke be ye o haw ana yade no so ano na so no Alexander say na si obi koda sa dialysis infidie isu a wo be kompredo do sen ya na sa ne asi onye odunfo bi si wo ye ma no se da ye ma no sa abo no fofora eno be boa pa na so sanse emere ni hu ni nti ya na aye bibia ewo ho
once kidney yade na nkasa de akoya yade bi a enne no first na wonte ho asem enne de akoya yade bi a ben yen wankasa wunya bi a wunmo bi a wenye bi ɛna yɛhwɛ sika dodo a yɛyusu ne yɛde ɛsa kidney yadeɛ no a na ɛho bɛhia sɛ yɛbɛsua kwan a yɛbɛfa so a yadeɛ no ɛmma ɛsan sɛ ɛba a ɛka ɛda ho no ɛso yɛduru pɛmpɛnsuo bi a ɛwɔ sɛ yɛyɛ mmara na yɛtumi yɛ transplant na kyerɛ sɛ Ghana no yɛnya mmara a obi betimi adonate ne kidney ɛde ama obi fofo yɛni bi Ghana ha sei oda dialysis so a sɛ deɛ kura no a yɛbɛdu baabi na ohia transplant in the same mmara no da so wɔ Ministry of Health ɛwɔ sɛ ɛba parliament yɛtumi bobo ho na yɛgyitum
na enu achi na honorable Alexander Kwasiakwa ede ka ho se abandada MPP abreso no wonum eye nhyehyɛ ahodo titi efa pomdin si achi ba ho a wonum eye se obi a wobekɔ sa dialysis isu yi aban befa ho kantina eye fa no kwa eye free na enei mampani ma so ebra wo bontoa wo de Mahama Cares ebaaye ama ene Mahama Cares anya ba betina se na ofo aso ni nyina achi wo busa kosa se sika no omo de be Mahama Cares no ebe free he
ya penso ne ehunu sɛ kidney yadeɛ no ɛpagya amanfo bebre wɔ hɔ no mu a ɔse ɛboɔ mu enti yɛn yɛde hyɛ health insurance formula ɛwɔ 2014 mu sɛ health insurance for MPSK bi ɛfɛntua ɛmoa renal patients ampa yɛgye to mu ɛnɛ renal patient biara a wɔkɔ hospital no ɛba dialysis a ontua ɛsɛ san hyehyɛ no a yɛyɛ ɛnɛ no aban yɛ baayɛ no ɛse ɔbɛyɛ bibi ɛfrɛ no Mahama Care a saa yadeɛ ahodoɔ ne nyinaa no ebekom ye hunu sika kura ode ba beye ye hunu hihye kura ewom eti so far ne de ye hihye ye to kɔ no ɛna egu so ɛboa fence renal patient a omukɔ a wo muntua
na wasan so kura de kan ho se ebeboa se ebenya nsesaye ewo emra hu efa ya pomden hihye mu ti ebeya aban enhwe nanka wonfa emra hye bedwafie na wo mu enhwem na emmoa.
Oh, so far the reforms biya and as a health bill biya on diaba. We just finished the national health insurance approval. The national health insurance approval. And on a makwaima by Ethiopia. And my health insurance to another area. So I na fina almost share. No bills be a war on the baba. The bay of my jumano. Yeah, train. The Rubanica home. Instead say, you better quite faso a so yadiana no. Yen say yadiano cra emma. Ya train ya say yadiano emra. Yen sa yana edding a crankro. Okua enko. Intino. The ben say you bebo de ru. You benu musumo. You benya kwanya yadiano emma. Emma time. You beti yen chin die so. You be exercises ya begia home se ne be akidni no be koso enya hoden
achim damra shebedwani enche kra no esoafo abedi echi ohwa pomde wonsem so no nyafo Alexander Kwasiakwa ena yetenike George osei eno chroba
1 year sha about wonsem so wo my Ghana meche the Electoral Commission of Ghana abamani a watchere say nyame ya adoma July bosom ne de to so du ba kon wa fimo polling station be se dunkron wo ablekuma north about one person so ye kwa akoto aba na wenti MPP amanyoko no atonsa friends entrofo a watchere chensem wa ablekuma north mensim honom na George say aba homa no sunti ye ne ne kodi nkomo George akwabo
gaga mejoso
wuji wudinti ena ye bisa se MPP amanyoko press conference ne kosi sen
said ye nyina yenim no fiada eda yenim ya share course assessor isi embe ye rerun 19 polling stations ablekuma north hasing na nti na MPP for no abeye inhyiemu na according to general secretary lawyer Justin Frempong Kodua or say enya ade a MPP for no ebe ye rerun anase omobeba na ya to aba na ma details kakra a say 2024 general elections no ye hwe polling stations bi te say
George
Ebenezer Dakuma na
George
gaga
enkomo na ye di na huhia Ghana for panty promu omunimu ye se be ma na ase ye nhye dante wonka
pacho line mu ye
peja woni kakra bom mame
pacho line mu ye
aha sisi ade nyame adome mu da ho
aga emu ye
emu ye
George enye line no one no kasa memem wani di won
okay
aha bom my base
me pacho said ye Ghana for ye nyina ye nim no court access Friday fiada eda yenimi isi enya collation 19 polling stations Ablekuma North na nti na MPP for no abe insiemu na according to general secretary lawyer Justin Frimpong Kodia no enya dia omo be pne run ne so if he say or 2020 elections na omo 2024 elections na omo wini abane deda na on my details bi I checked some polling stations Ablekuma North constituencies no MPP for no FI yes Christ Ebenezer Dakuma na EQFPA oye MPP ni nya 122 votes Rabna Obin oye NDC ni nya 95 votes Church of Pentecost Kokomfe Dakuma EQFPA enya 160 votes ena Rabna Obin oye NDC ni enya 175 votes na lawyer Justin Frimpong Kodia Emma media no say 19 polling stations na easy access obeba be run no Osha God First International School EQFPA enya 157 votes Rabna Obin enya 98 votes na esi den na polling station o me wini deda no easy essential obeba be run e was our polling station Osha Pentecost Church Mount Zion Assembly Pashimana EQFPA enya 194 votes. Rabna Obin enya 127 votes. And also Assembly say so polling station ye winning no. Den na easy say yemba ne yembe ye rerun. Na lawyer Justin Frimpong Kodia ekasemu no. Na o say court as easy say omra no ombe declare winner and as the odi nkunim ewo Ablekuma North constituency no police for ebeka mo na omedi sadwume na court an hye say ombeye rerun lawyer Justin Frimpong Kodia to also eka say isi no rerun na ometia court emra so ye friend no bro for casting ebeka say contempt of court inti no MPP for no any isi no enya agin say obeye rerun na lawyer Justin Frimpong Kodia de ne kasa na eba wie o my yet say EQFPA Ablekuma North constituency no onya 34,613 votes and Rabna Obin NDC nya 34,119 votes a difference of 414 votes intiminu agaga ubisamia na entremu eni
Anya George ma yena sepane wa mane bo sania wato obo asia wa cheche nsemu na wode asumi nti yenua ba ma George se amane bo anya kotie fi Ablekuma North abato mpesi aso
anya na yentu akase ne so wonsem foforo mu GTEC wamudi na nkasa Ghana Tertiary Education Commission na wonu dwumade ni se suapon be kira de ne womo be kira ne ade no womo na be hwe so ama ho adansedie san we wodi mu wonye suapon course we ubetumi a kire na body we su betumi di ama na nsan wo mama wo ho mene so nkrofo se na de hia Ghana bi eni abodi no wo musia yekan adwuma wo munya ye ne anye adwuma adan wo musia obi wo ani ahye na nimonyam na yesi o asimasi ye doctor asimasi ye professor na eyanwumonyam hye ene ye de hye no enti wo mu kire se emramu no se ye hye wanwumonyam sa no a eda so na so ye mfa mfrew na nansan wonum si asesa sa enmonyam hye abodi no bi wo honom a ya na nkrofo yusu enti no deputy director general wo GTEC professor Augustine Oklu na chese ni de wadi nwoma na ye de ama no odi aka ho mu de ahye animu ama me nti ono no wadi nwoma nya sa de okobra wo ntimi nso ampafe nante enti no wono professor Augustine Oklu di animu ene ne mpanimfo no wonom se wo mo ka kira manfo se wo a wunia ya ema wabodi no a eye animonyam hye de no enyusu mane now so amanfo se na ene ye de ma wo mo ye den ebi onom a ninim de no ne waye nti ade abodi no ama no no de watisuapon mu kura anya bi sa professor Augustine Oklu si he mo pa mo ko parliament emra no nya sa na ye ka no ye de tatre ye de mawa enyusu enti wo hwa no no matwo krata ma wo papa professor Williams Abayarian Atlik owo Heritage Christian University na no matwo ne krata ye say professor no omo banso omo nhya dan kase ja yusu kire yen he na usuku a wo koye oniama wo twotworo ye wo publications ene niama wo hia ye ma abaye professor na no professor Edwadu Ajimadie onu so toroto ye wo fa last week daily guide ya wonya daje onu so chire mu kan ne de tententententente ene onu so edito wo omu se da emu wo mu abem de wo mu gusu a ene wo mu gusu na Director General Magitech Professor Ahmed Abdullahi Jinapo ena nkrofo kasa ye bi mu yese adan amanyosem na hyehyia na no si Ghana me maima asemba munya abotre amanyosem bia nta akiri enwumasua eya si obi bekosuku kodi nwoma ye fedi no wo twra ade ya ese wantwo ni ye TZC ni ato atwene mu stress ye University of Ghana di baabie be house masters kra wo bre na wo be doctorate na ekina obi sori a wase me ye professor me ye doctor no ode ne santi no omo pese ade no animonyam e wo ho no so obi adi nwoma no wanya wadi nwoma no wanya na kyese ne o matwama no na no sei eyi na akoyo mrahye bewiani ya wo awutu senya it ono so mo twro no Desmond the graft pay to wono so ono matwro no yi Dr. Rashid Tanko da bi gitakefo mesrem wo me mamudi bem wo mo se me yanka biem enti Rashid Tanko computer wono so matwro no wo ye ni atwro iguta papa yi Joseph Oben wono so no obi aka se oni de na ye nwomasua de ne ade wo mo sigutafo ye gitak se doc enyu shu biem na wani nwoma ye de hye wani monyam Giteke na ama afedie aye wu na no kra de ana nempo krata from asande abase ansa ne ye betwro wo no uni adu the needful ti wo ye na se ne nka wabai me be ye introduction am si ye wo Professor Augustine Oklu online so pe wo ya wo se ya me da se na me nya professor na nche se wo no waka se nya wo dia nti bia me na me dia ma wo ene o maka che ye nsentwofo no so se e be kwani akwakwa ye ntwhwemu enkwani enkoye ne enya se ne yi ohene wa ba ya se ganganton doctor na ye nya doctor na ye de me ma no ye nkodi ye ho nkomo yi Professor Augustine Oklu Deputy Director General Emma Gitech wonu no odi sa ade yanim na yesisi se me rebrofo mama me this way call baako Prof, good afternoon, thanks for joining us on Peace this afternoon.
Good afternoon.
For the sake of clarification, because you are at the forefront of this campaign, let us be sure of your professorship. Are you a professor?
Yes, I'm a professor, not an associate professor. I'm a professor of biochemical pharmacotoxicology at the University of Ghana, Legon.
Okay, like you usually do to the people you write to, which institution awarded you this professorship?
University of Ghana, Legon.
Okay, so we can go and cross-check from there.
Yes.
Thank you, Prof. Let's just move on to the main issue. We don't know what is the motivation behind this step you are taking, because some people feel it's politically motivated. Some people feel you are just harassing people, because most of these title holders don't refer to themselves as such. People normally refer to them so.
Yeah, thank you very much. I don't think it's entirely true. We've seen some of them who have signed letters with the title, and they go to meetings and write the title. We've seen posters of individuals who they've assigned these titles to, and it is the responsibility of the individual to correct whoever is addressing him or her with a wrong title, which we always do. Even if you come to the universities, sometimes you meet a colleague and you call him Professor so, and he or she will tell you, no, I'm not yet there. Yeah, so it's a standard practice, and people have decided not to do the right things as far as these title issues are concerned, and some have used it for several years, and you'll be surprised. There are many people using these titles. If you mention them, people are even surprised that they are using honorary titles.
Okay.
They think that
but why has it become a priority now?
It is not now that it's a priority. This is something that GTech have been doing or talking about for a very long time. Let us remember that GTech came out of two institutions. We had the National Accreditation Board, and then we have the National Commission for Tertiary Education. And these two institutions have always warned people that academic titles should be respected as such, so that we don't dilute that space where people can go and pay a token and then be awarded some kind of honorary degrees, and then the next moment they are doctors and they are professors. So it's not a recent phenomenon. The only thing is that we just decided to up our strategy or change our strategy a little bit. Formerly, it was just warning. But we realized that people are not heeding to this warning. So we have to change the strategy a little bit to make sure that we are able to put our message across in a much better way, to enforce our regulations. That's all that we are doing. So it's not a recent phenomenon.
So now that you've moved from warning, you're writing to the individuals directly. If they don't adhere to these warnings or these cautions, what next?
We've said it severally that the next is to take legal action. You know, it's fraudulent to call yourself something that you are not. The question that I've not heard the media ask is that why are people interested in these titles? I've not really asked. I've not really heard the media or the journalists question these people. Why are you interested in this title? Why? To the extent that you go and get a university college to give you an award, you know, and then some people talk to their friends in another university, and then they go and give a talk, and then the friend will give them some citation as a professor. Then they go with it and they start. So we need to ask that question as a society. Why,
Prof? Can I come in
these titles? Why?
Okay, Prof, if I may come in, I would rather ask, why would you chase somebody sitting his or her somewhere that's an institution that you have accredited and recognized, call this person and say, so and so, mister, come for this qualification? Why would we even allow that if I can't use it? Because I know the law allows it in Ghana, that University of Ghana can call somebody and say, I'm giving you this honorary title. UCC can call somebody and say, I'm giving you this honorary title. So why are we allowing the universities to give these titles? First of all, if I can't use it, what is the essence of it? Then secondly, why chase me, the individual who has been honored, and not the university who awarded me that honorary award?
As for awards, we cannot change awards. Awards are awards, which is done everywhere. You can be awarded the best worker, the best this, that, you know. So the fact that you have been given an honorary doctorate does not make you a doctor. It's part of the university system. So we cannot say university shouldn't recognize people by giving them some kind of award. And I've said this. Let's do some.
Prof, sorry to come in again. So you can't prevent that.
Let's do some check. No, wait. Let's do a check and see how many honorary degree holders from UG are actually using these titles. Let's check. You hardly will come across it. You see, but it is the people who are bent on using the title because they need it for something. They go to smaller universities. Some of them, we have come across a situation where somebody has gotten this honorary title from a university college. You see, the university college is not even qualified to award a first degree. But the same university college awarded somebody a professorship. You see, and the person is calling himself a professor. So we are not saying, so we are going to engage the universities. We are going to engage them, you know, and come out with a clear guidelines. You've seen the release from the vice chancellors of the technical universities Ghana, and you've seen the release from UTAG. You know, they are all backing this move, and they know that we have to clean up the system. You know, we have to
Okay.
clean up the system. Otherwise, somebody presents himself as a professor which he is not, or she is not. A doctor.
So, Prof, that's why I wanted to come in initially. That what is the essence? Why are you giving me that honorary award if I can use it? What for? Then don't give it in the first place.
So it's just like saying that don't honor people, don't honor them with a best worker, whatever. Awards are awards. So it is part of your credentials. It is part of your profile. You get it? We have professors being awarded honorary doctorate. We have it. So awards are awards. But they know. And they come with citations. They don't come with certificates. Because you've not earned it.
Prof, is the GTEC considering embarking on some form of public awareness or education? Because in as much as it is the law, most people are really ignorant of this and the campaign you're embarking on.
Yeah, but this is part of the campaign.
Okay.
You know, until recently, I don't think you would have even called me to talk on your station regarding this particular issue. So it's part of the campaign.
But will there be other forms of campaign?
We have received a lot of positive feedback.
Okay.
From Ghanaians, a lot of them. And most of the people that we've written to are people that individuals, Ghanaians freely have given us information on, that they don't think they have earned the titles that they are using. So,
you mean some Ghanaians actually call GTEC to give you information that so and so is using this title? I don't think the person earned it academically.
Yes. And then we do our investigation. That's it. People are backing us. People are fully behind us. There's only a few people who don't think that what we are doing is right. But majority of Ghanaians, you know, are behind us. Because you don't want to make that space chaotic, where you cannot tell the difference between a professor, a real professor, and an honorary professor. You see, do you know what it takes to become a professor or a doctor, PhD? Do we know? You have not produced a thesis before.
The people who are being given these honorary awards don't know.
Knowledge.
Prof, is it that the people who are being given these honorary awards do not know that you are being given this honorary award, but it's just for your profile? You don't have to use it. They know.
They know. And some deliberately.
So in your mind, why do you think they will do that?
Some deliberately go and pay. Some even go and pay so that they can use it because they realize that the system has allowed it. So some even pay a token.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So beyond writing to them individually, which a population of over 30 million, at least even if it's some 100,000 people, it will be quite a number. What next move or what next can you do so that you'll be able to identify the people and get to your target of ridding them of those using the titles as they are not supposed to?
Yeah, as I've said, we are going to engage the universities, the vice chancellors. They themselves have to be the ones who would make this the system, because it is the same universities that are awarding the PhD, the same universities that are awarding the honorary doctorate. And let me tell your listeners that a university has the right to withdraw your honorary doctorate if they realize that you are not using for the purpose for which it was given. Even your PhD, if they realize that you've gotten your PhD in an error, or maybe you plagiarize, they can withdraw the PhD. The university have that right. So we're going to work with them so that when individuals identified to misuse these honorary degrees by assigning it as a preface to their names, they write to them and withdraw it.
Okay.
And it will be published. Yes, that can be done.
All right. Prof, thanks so much for your time. We are grateful.
You're welcome.
Professor Augustine Okuya, Deputy Director General, Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC. Yankomo na bosie ni nyina ye se nkrofo ayama wo mo ya hye omo ani munyama mo ma bodin professor ne doctor no a wo mo yusu no. Enti no no akura me busa no se no no professor no bi de eno se ane a mewura me yebia na me no me professor of biochemistry and am sisuapon ben fi so mo chokrata no a omo ayetwa mo no ediam di kan bo enyo mbebisa bisa enti suapon ben na edema no University of Ghana na am say ne daachi bia e beso e bebo akire ne yakwa akohwe na anamontu ya wo mutuo sesie ya uni awo hwa ne atwera brew e pa chewo wo doctor ya wu yusu eja yusu suapon ben na edema wo boa ye ne ehu ne ade no bi mu se ase politics bi no mo ye no se dabi enti sa kra nya politics ya ade a wonum eye na se wo no ye de ade ne ma wana so obi mpo na efre wo saa asodie da wo nipa ne so se wo beka se me ne saa se ya ye law yi na ya yi meka ho yi obi na se ya sa wo ye lawyer me simpacho me ye law me nye ya nsoso nti wo de jame law na aha nti asodie da so se wo beka che nipa ne se me sre wa da me nye doctor me nye professor enam si o ya ti ase na ase de ti ai de moni abri adenti na fe na abehia mo eno si e da bi ye wo wadada o kai se GTEC no ne National Accreditation Board ene ye bomuo tabre ni nyina ne yetu saa na mo no na enei ena ayese ya sesa ye strategy ye move no ya sesa no nti na muhu ne saa no nyese ne yate ada nti so bi aka se ne yate ada enye nokre amisi yo woye nti esi ano sa mo twa koma nkrofo ni wie na so wo mo se amaka yate ye mfa no wo se ye mfa hwe ye de be family kwan so na wonim se enye eye na ada ne apobo chronosem fraudulent say wo wonya doctor wonya professor nanso wo be frɛ wo saa ana wo be makwan ama wo bi afrɛ wo saa enti wo mo yesa no wo hu saa de no na me de kra de na me hwɛ sɛ mo da ubofo no ka mo bebusa ko saba ko so mo musa sɛ enti wo mo so a wo mo e de frɛfrɛ wo mo no de enti no mani abeda chinchia twan wo be so wo mo from doctor ne professor si dia na wo mu adan wo mani je won saa mawura addition na for mo academic award no yemfa makwa si wa hu saa na dia no se university si wa hye wani monyam a obi mu kura tim kotua obi nim na danfo bi no afrɛ wo se ya sa ukra ko UCC na no UCC fo abo aba so koko hu professor Boampon VC no won frɛ me no wo ma me tatere ana se me lecture me lecture wie sa pe a no wa ma me tatere na ne na che se professor ti ebi mu frɛ wo mo na fofo ne ade enti omo so omo ni abre na msi o prof we me de kra de me mo mebusa se na mo so mo de award no masa aye den wo de award mu obi o se won tumi nyusu metwa wo se ya abra me nhya wani monyam wo se be ye doctor afa wo simi tumi nyusu eni mo de ma me aye den afa nso university no mo de ma nipa no ada na mo nkɔ wo mo nso na me ametim ba bi ade ade ne ma me no se mawura agya ikan enka ne sakra ye ntimi nka sa award de ye mfama te se yesi o odwuma ye ni we ni modern mo so ani na adwuma efe pa eni asi hard working most punctual ni nyina say abaso body aye de ma ye ntimi nka se masuapon ne mfama enti ende suapon no de bema na suapon no kra nso de ma no enhyehyɛ wo ho wo mu sɛ fa ka wo profile ho na kyɛ sɛ ukoduru ba bi ne yeyi wa kyerɛ ayɛ sɛ gangantoa lady wo yɛ adeɛ sɛ ebire bi kra no suapon we UCC ebo na baso wa wanko UCC na deɛ waso bebu UCC bo na baso so wo yɛ doctor na yɛ de aka ne kɛkɛ sɛ wo modi montini anka se yewie pa ne onama doctor onyene wa hwɛ na aga se degree ye kontomira ye tete eno kra besori anopa no wate hasu akotete enti mawura anka ne saa enya saa kra ena emu nyai fama wote awura ye ntumi nyai fama na ye ni suapon no gun kasa so esie so a ye ne wo mo kasa ye toto niema saa de ni nyina ye betenetene no ena me se ena wo se ye pa ye ncheke nhwe university college so university college ya wonya university mu a wonu first degree kro ntimi fama enso bra no ama obi wo se asomasi ya ma no doctor ya bono ultimo bo obi doctor wo first degree kro ntimi fama eno wo se yente ase se sa ba so body omode ma no de wakosuku wo kura kodi nwoma no se kire university ni hu a omutimi ka se ya asomasi wo benten yaje se anu nti na ya no o ma twa so say this is awarded, it is not earned one earn it enya wa ho ode nya omode mo omo se wo nwoma na obedi ye no ye ball akra omo pemu eno omo de ma ho enti se ba omo mu no omo se usuma no ni ye bi bo abra wadi sua na obesua enu bibi ateche wo ho a no ma san se yagye ya ade enti de wadi nwuma kra ye de ama no yetimi san gye na fe adan enam si sa enti ne prof se si ano da ubo no mo be yire mo ho aye wo se awura na egusu aye nye bia na me ne wo keken nam si prof boko na sa no mu wie ha na enu ano wo se me ye ni university ti egusu aye no bokitifo yi ye ni o mugu nkasasie so enam si okay na sa no wo mo so gye abasobode no a no ono akura timi kan obi wo a ubo ni dia wo se pa cho wa mfa nsoso obi wo ha ye ono no onu kra no nyo onu no ofre we amika wuti abonto tian na mumu wuramu ye wuramu ya na ye de ehwahoa wo mo onko ba bi mu onka se frɛ ne sa da obi de unya bo ni de o se wa mfa anka ho se me ye doctor eno o se saafo ni nyina enye fine esese mu jai na Ghana fo wo se wo manya positive feedback Ghana fo bi na afrɛ wo onom wo munya ye pe wo se Professor Okulu bra he ko aha trade union papa yi woko program a wo ye pe say friend me doctor onu kra ne de ni ba bi efiri enti wo se ansa na won be twra bra obi no he Ghana fo no kokonsa snitching sa no mo ka no na ma fo brofo
cutlery set
snitching nipa ye foke Ghana fo ye foke ti Ghana fo no a na ko no ma ko ka kire GTech fo no se GTech asumasi wo benten ye friend professor wo gitum wo friend ho sa mumusa no so kosua pon ben enti wo se feedback wo munya na ye ayifo fo wo mo so vice chancellor Ghana mpanifo mo de sua pon ahodo emu afei eye Utage university a chekire fo mpanifo wo munyina afo aso se hey goji tech so wo mo se wo mo di nwoma bre pa wo be doctor be 7 years emu atete thesis we ye mpe interview yi kra wa anye ni ye wo research we kra nkoye ye pia to yo mbesi atua school fees imprenu ne imprensa na wo mbe wie na echi na be obi o munu na nko school na nipa ne friend no professor enti no mo kra yi wo mo de no wo mo fo aso no enti prof say wo mu guso wo mu nyai ne wo mu nyai china na eye nkenya a na e wo ho dada strategy en wo masesa no Professor Augustine Okulu unkai news no biem ayo de what wo
senia na ye ka se nipa e cutlery set no tina na meje hu
na oje wo so be cutlery set kakra na Mr. Yonko anim ye 3 minutes
amfanifo na ka wasem se wiase mu ye YouTube ane ne wankasa ho ye bewie ne wani makoy den se obia ne tu Ghana Hajj Agent Association for na hyase a wo bo amane safi we Hajj no senia hihye si ko ne ankoye kuranti besi ne ya wo mo kasa che Ghana mampanim His Excellency John Dramani mama se won toto nyoma ye na tax force wo mu dwumedie na enhwani wase ba akopa no wo kan wasem so oba ba ko a wo mfiri mu na nso tax force mpanifo abuabusua na mane se ma me ne kura wo mfiri mu ma chese abusua no wo madi kan ye dadada eno nam so ma pani kwanche for your kasa de tax force yewra ABF se ni peace kase ebodi nkoma wo kire mu ese ensemfo ahodo bi association wadi tudwa no wase nyina so papa bi animu se ni nkire mu
Infa no musi Hajj no ankoye obi antimi nye adwuma na enye 100% because nti na ka say perfection is an ideal, it can never be attained. So nyamiti ya muka say you introduce some reforms. You can always do reforms at any time. Anytime we be next time we be higher the same thing now you can add certain things ma emphasis and masu on top of what you have done. So technically and there's nothing new in that. Every year after Hajj you always call for additional things to be done. So it's always there. As for cooperation and consultations will be in the Hajj agents kase ya kosotumo one can correct. There was constant consultation. Not like I say, discuss some matters with the high task force, access to them. It will be kasa among the agents are it is never true. This is the most successful Hajj in the history of our country.
Yewra fu se ni to aso kirechirem se bebia wo manfo so wo mokoda ya sebe enye bia papa no wase nya no kre sense in the history of Ghana pa wani e ko Hajj 5-star hotel ene de ma binom
accommodation nyina de yenye wo 2024 Hajj no ya use ni nyina nti obi ka say accommodation ni nya and the onko start 2024 the organize Hajj no omo anka da say 2024 accommodation ni enye obi applaud in addition to that ya nya 5-star hotel ya rent 5-star hotel ya free baku Mahama Lodge 5-star hotel thousands of Ghanaian pilgrims ya do mo show omo enjoy 5-star treatment nti accommodation ya de bika ho mane ye excellent krampo ebuso the same thing food adwane omo di Ghanaian food medical care top first class medical care. Your medical team led by CEO for University of Ghana Medical Center, Dr. Tanko. So, your first class organization. So nobody can cite that as any excuse. So
Tadema Ghana Hajj Board Tax Force and Yera ABF say the same way Abdullahi Dasmani Nebuan. Ye jina we so na yanum so ye ban ya kan betwa so.
Peace FM. So wakoma ho hyehyɛ and na ebo periperi de broni kan hard burn no a ɛde na sɛ wo ye na sɛ wo yam so atim so
wo be pack na farmer Martin's liver salt tira kwan entem ahwie nsu agu glass mo ate Martin's liver salt no ba ko no na wo de agum
wo be hu sɛ ehuru wa glass ni mu na wanom Martin's liver salt ye won orange flavor and ba ko so ye plain
wonumu a ho beto nemum edi nanu na ho nto wo a ko hu doctor
Ferrolet eniani dronie midofo wo ye adwuma kakra bia na wa bre wo sori odua so wontumi nidi akwadampo de okese na wonyini ato ape Ferrolet niani dro na mekanfo ma wo Ferrolet niani dro vitamin B1 B2 B12 folic acid zinc iron copper ne lysine wom biotin womo biotin yetiri ni widie ye no ye kama ene wo so wom no Ferrolet niani dro ne besiesie o Ferrolet Ferrolet enye na wo pharmacy shop biara ebe wo mu etufonko Harvard Pharmaceuticals Limited enkran okaishi ene SGSSB Bank ne hwe animo 0244 631 402 ana Pilcare Pharmacy East Legon America House 0599 889972 edi aji edwedi nkrato yatum.
Peace FM.
Tune it in, turn it up,
Peace FM,
and rip off the knobs.
Maya mamu mose mune yatina don hwe ba ko na yase ahome katebo iso aba asi efise na na rasta wa ba enti ye de kasebo no asi ye de keka ye me mami yakuna mami ne
ohine wa kasebo ahine ye de aseda koma MTN we dey for you everywhere you go na si ano yesem ne ye isem ne ye de abanti hu hia safe e na wo kukuru fo na pacho wunyi wasomade ne mame eyebota na ordinate no ode awo na ayeden abras si an MTN say wadi isem na dia bantia no say ukrafo no sim bia nhyem enso na call bia wotimi ye MTN say download my MTN app no then you go some less today African Queen macro na ma de na no nsuo ye de ne de nko an epe o so no kura egu hunu ntoso de no yetimi kura de nsabom ne atafre ne ni je nwani enu say kura yes ama ye kura na wuntua e kakra ye ni je hom African Queen say enam papa esimu apoti ba ko na ya wota atone tina pa ba ko ne se so nim se ne ezitiam wo mo afunfan ase Somalia ntokwa na wo mu gina mu bi na akwoto na mu ahoɔden ni mu na anu nsuo nye da na ebusua nkɔ ya na se wo baye se ye jollof na wo ye se ye stew na se nkwan a ye African Queen mackerel ye enam papa nie ye twa ye num kekem na edu kwesi adanse ye na special fufuo no na wenya African Queen kakra na wo di egum se ye nkwan like soup na wo ya na se katen kwanya we hwie kakra be se enam ni sisimu se ya nti wudi abedi ankɔ na ye kanom ewrade African Queen an wode abraye ntim udu makola se ya se oba pastor honum ya ne fire service no ane di nhwede mum market ahodro bia wo Ghana ha kwa obenye bia to freye ewo 0245326180 0245326180 na keche bedu be ka kire sewe gaga se ni African Queen macrosi ya denti mimi se kura de wo mo number ba queen 0302668357 ena metafre ena msiyo maya die enti ene wie de wo mo na ba ye bebo ye chidom yadam nyina se amamo ani tie dia Mickey the quadruple darling odo ye papa bi ena wo to aso ye
tune it in.